I'm not trying to crash this plane. I'm trying to save it. Hey everyone, yes, I just saw Nonstop. It's a fun, good Liam Neeson action thriller, which is a bit dumb in parts, but honestly, it's much smarter than it looks. So here's my long review with spoilers. In this movie, Liam Neeson plays an air marshal who is also an alcoholic. He's weary, he's tired, he really doesn't like his job. In the beginning, it shows him drinking scotch and looking at an old picture of his daughter, trying to remember the good memories. He goes to the airport, he goes through customs and everything you do at an airport, and he meets up with some people. There's a guy with glasses who wants to have a cigarette from him. There's a black guy who blocks his way on the way to the metal detector. And there's a couple other people who because the camera focused so long on, you're thinking, ooh, is this guy going to be the bad guy? Because it focused on the guy with the glasses, it focused on the black guy blocking Liam Neeson's way, it focused on the Muslim guy, it focused on a bald guy who looks very suspicious, and so on and so on. So Liam Neeson boards the airplane, and you know what I love about Liam Neeson? He is a even though he's very intimidating, he has a very intimidating presence. You don't want to fuck with him, but he is very kind and sweet because there's this girl who's traveling all alone, and she's supposed to meet up with her father. At her country in London, I believe. So she drops this monkey, and it's her first time flying, so she is trying to get on the airplane, but she's scared. Liam Neeson happens to come by and picks up the monkey and gives it to her. And he's like, "Oh, don't worry. You know what? Why don't you show Mr. Monkey how it is to be okay in an airplane?" Sometimes I wish he's my father. Seriously, he is a very kind, gentle person. Wow, he's a good-willed. So you know that this guy can't be the bad guy. Anyway, Liam Neeson should always play the hero. So Liam Neeson gets on the airplane, and then he sits next to the black guy who blocked his way. Julianne Moore is trying to find an aisle seat because she got fucked over with the tickets. So she kept asking people if she could take the aisle, take the aisle, take the aisle. People refused. And then she finally talks to the black guy who was blocking Liam Neeson's way, who's sitting right next to Liam Neeson. And I really love the scene because Julianne Moore's like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I know I don't want to bother you, but I really want to have the aisle seat. Is it okay we could switch because my seat is actually right in front of you, but I just want an aisle seat." So the black guy was about to say no, but then he looks at Liam Neeson, and Liam Neeson is like, Liam Neeson is silent the entire time, and he is so intimidating that when the black guy looks at him, he's like, "Oh shit, hell no, I don't want to be fucked over by this." So the black guy says, "You go ahead, you take the aisle seat." So Julianne Moore sits next to Liam Neeson. If you ever saw the trailer really focuses so much on Julianne Moore, so it makes you wonder, is Julianne Moore going to be the bad guy in this movie? So that's what I was worried about when I was watching this movie. Is Julianne Moore really the bad guy? Because besides Liam Neeson, she's the other Hollywood star in this movie. Everyone else is practically, I think I've seen in TV shows before, but I'm not sure. There's the another person who's a beautiful woman, by the way. I believe her the model's name is Bar Paley. She was in Pain and Gain, and she's also in this movie. And my God, she is beautiful. Wow. And I liked her in Pain and Gain. And she happens to sit right behind Liam Neeson. So Julianne Moore and Liam Neeson are talking, and they're becoming friendly. And Liam Neeson is trying to, be lonesome. He's trying to be all by himself. So when he was reading, the Bar Paley, who's right behind him, was flirting with the guy next to her and just knocking Liam Neeson's chair. And I love the shot because it showed just Liam Neeson's lap, and then goes to Bar Paley flirting with the male guy. And then it goes back to Liam Neeson staring back at them like this. And he's like, "Oh, fuck, really?" So Liam Neeson's like, "Okay, you know what? I'm gonna have a smoking break, even though we're not allowed to smoke in airplanes." So he goes to the bathroom, and then he smokes. Basically, before this, you saw him carrying duct tape with the metal containers. So Liam Neeson takes out the duct tape and puts it over the smoking alarm. So I was like, "Huh, that's kind of clever." And he brought his own scotch with him. I'm like, "Dude, no, this is gonna make you look terrible." Liam Neeson comes out of the bathroom and he gets a phone text message, and it's over a secure airline because he's an air marshal. So it's saying, hello, I know you've been smoking in the lavatory. That's a federal offense. And Liam Neeson's like, holy shit, who knows about this? So Liam Neeson kept texting with the guy, and then the guy finally says that every 20 minutes, I'm gonna kill someone in this airplane. So Liam Neeson at first thinks it's a prank, but at the same time, he knows the threat could be real. So he goes to the pilot, tells him the truth, that there's probably someone on this plane who wants to kill someone within the 20 minutes. Liam Neeson talks with one guy who has gray hair with glasses, and it turns out he's also another air marshal on the plane. So at first, Liam Neeson believes that this guy didn't do it because he's an air marshal, and he really believes in him. But then it showed during the scene where he asked Julianne Moore and the stewardess, two people that Liam Neeson can trust, to look at the security footage and see every time Liam Neeson gets a text, who is talking on their sending texts on their cell phones. And it keeps showing this air marshal, the other air marshal, about 6 times, the same times that Liam Neeson is getting the text. So Liam Neeson confronted the air marshal and in the lavatory, and unfortunately the air marshal was trying to kill Liam Neeson. Liam Neeson had no choice but to break his neck because the air marshal didn't want to listen and was about to kill Liam Neeson. It turned out that the air marshal wasn't the killer, that the killer really set up Liam Neeson to kill the air marshal. So at this point you're like, oh my god, this movie is actually smarter than it looks. And I applaud for it. Because at first I thought it was one of those dumb but fun Liam Neeson movies, but this one is actually smarter than I thought it was going to be. So Liam Neeson is devastated that he killed an innocent man. And he wants to know that why the air marshal tried to kill Liam Neeson in the first place. So Liam Neeson took his cell phone and Julianne Moore switched the battery so the cell phone works again, but it's cracked. And you know what? This is one of my favorite visual effects in the whole movie. And it's not an expensive looking visual effect, it's just a good looking visual effect. Every time Liam Neeson takes a text, right? The shots, it doesn't show on the cell phone about the text messages. There's like another hologram like icon. It's not a hologram. It's just showing to the audience what the person, what Liam Neeson is texting or sending text to or from. So you know what? I thought that was very clever. If you saw the thing in the trailer, they kept going with it, and it actually looks good here. It makes sense. And what I love about this one is that the air marshal that Liam Neeson killed, his cell phone is broken, the screen. So when he was reading the text, the crack censors fuck. Every time the air marshal keeps saying fucking or fuck, it keeps censoring it. So you see F, crack crack, K-I-N-G, or F, crack crack, K. And I was like, oh my god, you don't need to add bad fuck if you don't need to. But you know what? I liked it. It was funny. It was a funny visual gag. Even though the movie was supposed to be very intense, but I think it was done on purpose. And I liked it. Liam Neeson realized that the killer is still on the plane, and then he realized that the pilot got poisoned. Liam Neeson lost another 20 minutes. And at this point, Liam Neeson is trying to figure out who the killer is, because the killer said to Liam Neeson, give me $150 million and put it on this checking account. So Liam Neeson got the facts about the checking account. It turns out it's Liam Neeson's own bank check account. So Liam Neeson couldn't believe that this is happening, and it looks he knows that he's being framed for this. So the pilot died, the only person he really trusts, because he's been with Liam Neeson the entire time. The problem is that every other passenger doesn't know what's happening. The only person who knows the events right now is Liam Neeson, the co-pilot, the stewardess, whose name is Nancy, I believe, and Julianne Moore. Every other passenger is getting nervous and nervous and nervous by the second, and you know what? The reactions of everybody is correct. I like that there are no like stupid stereotypes or stupid people in this movie. You actually care about these people. They're normal people, and they react the same way a normal person should react in this situation. So that's what I like about this movie. Everyone thinks that Liam Neeson is up to no good because he's doing all these checks, security checks on everyone, especially the people who talk on their cell phone the entire time. So Liam Neeson finds out Tom Bower, who is this guy with the glasses who asked for a cigarette earlier in the movie. And he believes that this guy is the killer. Then, as Tom Bower kept talking, Liam Neeson believes that this guy can't possibly be the killer. That this person actually knows who the killer looks like. So Liam Neeson brings Tom Bower through the crowd, and he went through an aisle with Tom Bower, and Tom Bower knocks into someone. So Tom Bower said, "This guy is the guy who told me to do a prank on you to get some money, and he didn't get any money from it." So at this point, Liam Neeson sees there's this guy who's bald, and I think he's something about a bankruptcy lawyer or something like that. Liam Neeson believes that this guy is the real killer. So Liam Neeson brought him into a room, and it turned out the guy is also poisoned. So Liam Neeson couldn't believe that another person died under his watch, and the killer is still loose on the plane. Everyone is learning facts about Liam Neeson, and people believe that Liam Neeson is hijacking the plane. Because Liam Neeson is talking on the phone with TSA, and they believe that he's hijacking the plane for $150 million. And if he doesn't get $150 million, he's going to commit suicide and kill everyone on the plane and crash it. Everyone in the airplane soon hears about the news of Liam Neeson, about his origins, his truth, his background, and then they believe that he's actually hijacking the plane. So some of the passengers staged an ambush on Liam Neeson. So Liam Neeson discovers a bomb in the bathroom because the air marshal was carrying a briefcase, and when Liam Neeson looked into it, it showed cocaine. So the only reason why the air marshal tried to kill Liam Neeson is because he's worried that Liam Neeson knows the truth about the cocaine. When Liam Neeson opened the bag of cocaine, it turned out there's an actual bomb in it that's going to go off in 30 minutes. At this point, Liam Neeson couldn't trust anyone. He doesn't trust the daughter. He almost doesn't trust the stewardess, who's been with him every single time. So when he confronted Julianne Moore about it, because he really believed that she's the killer, she's mad because she stood by him the entire time, and she told the truth that she had open heart surgery, and she might die at any minute. That's why she wanted the aisle seat, to see the beautiful skies before she died. And now she believes she's gonna die. She even called Liam Neeson a dick. So Julianne Moore still helps out Liam Neeson, and Liam Neeson found out the bomb, and the passengers ambush on Liam Neeson. Liam Neeson was fighting them off, and it's like United 93 all over again. Liam Neeson was tied down, and then Tom Bower had Liam Neeson's gun and threatened to shoot anyone else. And he's like, "Wait, is there a bomb on the plane?" Liam Neeson's like, "Yes." So Tom Bower's like, "Okay, get up," and Liam Neeson tells the truth to everyone on the plane, and they actually believe him. And I'm happy about that. I was worried that it's going to keep going too long. One of the passengers, it turns out he's an NYPD cop who's coming to see his brother's wedding. And you know what? I really like this character. He's an actual believable guy. So this NYPD guy doesn't believe that Liam Neeson's going to hijack the plane. So Liam Neeson's like, "You know what? I trust you now. Here's a gun just in case if something goes wrong." So Liam Neeson hands the NYPD guy a gun. At this point, Liam Neeson realizes that there's still footage being sent through YouTube all over about this hijacking. Then he confronts this one kid about it who's been filming Liam Neeson the entire time on his phone. So when Liam Neeson saw one of the footages and rewound it, he realized that when he was holding Tom Bower, and Tom Bower knocked one of the guys down, it turns out that that's when Tom Bower poisoned him and put the cell phone in him. So it turns out Tom Bower is actually the main bad guy. Tom Bower says that the only reason he's doing this is because of 9/11. If the security was doing its job during 9/11, then the 9/11 incident wouldn't have happened. And he joined the military, and he wanted to expose the weaknesses in the security for everyone. So he wanted to frame Liam Neeson and show that Liam Neeson's the hijacker and killed everyone, so that security everywhere would be increased and people would actually do their jobs. He picked Liam Neeson because Liam Neeson's an alcoholic, and he really believed that Liam Neeson's a terrible excuse of air marshal. But it turned out Tom Bower wasn't the only bad guy in this. There was the black guy who who was blocking Liam Neeson the entire time. Turned out he was also the villain, and it made sense because he was showing Liam Neeson on how to do encrypted messages and stuff like that, and he was the one who was also sending the text to Liam Neeson. Liam Neeson put the bomb in the back of the airplane because it's the only procedure. So Tom Bower was threatening to kill the NYPD cop with the NYPD cop's gun. But turns out that it was unloaded, and it had a very funny joke with the NYPD cop, and he's like, "You gave me an unloaded weapon?" And Liam Neeson's like, "I didn't fully trust you." Liam Neeson fights off the black guy and Tom Bower. And remember that awesome slow-mo shot of Liam Neeson grabbing the gun in midair? Yeah, that's one of the final scenes in the movie, and it was awesome to see that. So the bomb went off on the airplane, and the airplane has to make a dramatic landing. And at this point, if you ever saw the movie The Grey, remember the scene where Liam Neeson was in the airplane and the airplane was breaking down and it was crashing? Yeah, there's a very similar scene with this because the wheel came off and the side of the windows is flung off, and the girl that Liam Neeson was helping was about to fly off, and Liam Neeson grabbed her, and the whole scene was intense. So in the end, everyone believes that Liam Neeson's the good guy. He's the hero who saved everyone, and everything's happily ever after. And there's no other twist after that. And you know what? This movie I had fun with. It's much smarter than I thought it was going to be. You know, it was a very intense thriller. I was interested in it every step of the way. And the funny thing about this movie is that it's pretty smart with its shots because at first, when I saw the guy with the glasses, who is Tom Bower, I was like, wait a second, why does the camera focus on him too much? He must be the villain. But then it keeps going back and forth between all these characters who you think might be the bad guy, and I'm like, holy shit, I'm probably wrong. It maybe is Julianne Moore. Maybe it's the stewardess. Who knows? But it turned out it was Tom Bower again. I'm like, ooh, movie, you tricked me. I knew it was Tom Bower. I just didn't know it was a black guy, though. I did not expect that. I didn't expect there to be two people who are bad. So yeah, this movie was fun. I recommend it. Get it on DVD when it comes out because I believe this movie came out a month ago and it's probably going to be out of theaters. So yeah, thanks a lot, everyone.